of it, which is just us playing guessing games for an
Okay,
hour.
all right. So for everyone,
The audience knows.
yeah, they're going nuts right now. It's what's his name, and he wanted to make the wrestling team, but he had to drop weight, and then the girl comes to live with him.
And it's not Emilio Estevez.
Oh no. God, it's the other guy. Yeah, he was in Full Metal Jacket. Me so horny. Me love you long time. Yeah.
Full Metal Jacket is one of those movies that Lauren's seen 100,000 times, and I've seen it 0 times.
Well, if you've seen it 100,000 times, that means you've seen 200,000 movies, because it's 2 movies in one. Everyone is going.
I'm going to congratulate him for his accomplishment then.
All right.
And then you add Jaws and Shawshank onto that, and
Anna,
you get an idea of his personality.
Figure out which song Lunatic Fringe was in. That's
no, I think it's more fun to guess.
It just came to my head.
What is it?
It's Vision Quest.
That's Matthew Modine.
Yes.
He was in something recently.
He's probably in everything. The guy's like a big name.
No, he wasn't. And then he was in something, and now it's Matthew Modine all over again.
You know what? I love Matthew Modine.
He was in that show on HBO with Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant, right?
No. He wasn't in that, because
he was in something.
I saw that, and he wasn't in that. But I love Matthew Modine.
I'm gonna look up Matthew Modine.
Yeah, we got to figure
Vision Quest.
Vision Quest. How did I not know that? Come on, Anna.
I should have known that too. That was such a because it had a Madonna song in it. So that's
by the way, he's trying to drop weight, and he's got to wrestle this other guy who basically looks like me back when I played high school football. And I weighed like 205 back then, and he's trying to wrestle like in 165 or something like that. And the guy he's supposed to wrestle looks exactly like I looked in high school. And I'm looking at that guy going, okay, that guy weighs 205 if he weighs an ounce. You know, he's seen I'm talking about what was the other guy's name in that movie? It was like the Gook or something. I got to beat the Gooch or whatever. Vision Quest. Let's look it up. We got to know.
Hold on. I'm trying to figure out what I saw Matthew Modine in, and I don't recognize anything. So what did you say? Vision Quest?
I think that's the movie. Other Wrestler. The audience is going nuts.
This podcast is now just called Anna and Vinnie Google stuff, because we can't remember anything.
Okay.
Linda Fiorentino, holy shit, forgot about her.
Yeah, she was the hot chick that came to live
Ronnie
with.
Cox was the dad.
Yeah, the movie was full. All right.
I did a movie with Ronnie Cox
You're
back
not
in the
immediately recognize the name Frank Jasper.
Daphne Zuniga.
Yeah, Daphne was in that.
Forrest Whitaker was in it.
Yeah. It was like everybody before they were who they were. Yeah. Yeah, Vision Quest was one of those movies, man. Folks, if you've not seen Vision Quest, drop everything tonight. I'm sure you can see it for free somewhere on the internet.
It was pretty quintessential 80s.
And by the way, Vision Quest was basically my life. I was that kid that was like working my ass off. I was like, I was talking, Gina and I were talking about this on a Sunday show. Anna, you know this about me because you're like me with a vagina. That's what we figured out in life. You and I are the same person.
Yeah.
Right? That's all we figured out. It's like we found each other in life. What?
I think Norm Macdonald died.
What?
I know.
Please don't say that. Serena will freak out. It's her favorite actor, comedian. I'm looking it up. Please let that be a hoax.
I hope it's a hoax.
Oh.
He just died. He died.
Of what?
Cancer. He was 61. Holy shit.
Oh, I get.
I'm sorry. I had to bring that up.
Serena?
Well, don't stress her out right now.
Is that real? Are we sure that's real?
Yes, it was confirmed on Deadline. Norm Macdonald dies. Influential comedian and former SNL Weekend Update anchor, was 61. After a 9-year private battle with cancer.
Died September 14th. That's today.
Holy shit. You might have to cut this out, Ben.
We leave everything in. We can't do a proper tribute to him. We're learning this. We were looking up Vision Quest stuff.
And I just got a text from Lauren saying that he died. You know, I guess it says here in the Deadline article, he was most proud of his comedy. He never wanted the diagnosis to affect the way the audience or any of his loved ones saw him.
Do we know what type of cancer it was?
It doesn't say. He was determined to keep his health struggles private, away from family, friends, and fans. Oh my God, that's awful. But you know what? That's the same thing with Chadwick Boseman. Like, people didn't know these people were suffering.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it has I think it has probably a stigma attached to it, and people don't want to know that people are suffering.
Well, some people.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Look,
Macdonald, what a shock. 61.
That's like.
You ever feel like you're just living on borrowed time?
That's 2 years older than me. Look, when I made it past 44 with my cancer, I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. I guess I'm supposed to live. Yeah, I was just getting ready to bring up Gina Grad. Her dad had the exact same leukemia I had, and ended up in a coma and died.
Yeah.
Died during COVID, so she couldn't even hug her dad or see her dad. She would see him through a window at the hospital.
It's horrible.
For a few minutes. And now this, man, Jesus Christ. I think of Norm
Tenuous,
Macdonald.
Vin. It's tenuous.
I think of Norm Macdonald as being like our age, and I still feel young. I know, I get it. I'm 59. I'm not young, but I still do young things. I still act young. Norm Macdonald always acted young. He was always funny.
He was kind of 45 from the age of 30 to 55. You know what I mean? He was just always that guy.
Yeah. Norm Macdonald kind of never aged.
He never aged. He was older than he seemed probably when he was younger, and he's younger than he seemed when he was older. Like, he's just always that. He's middle-aged, sharp, observational guy. So sharp.
Folks, if you get a chance and you don't know who Norm is, just Google and watch him just riffing on different late night shows.
The kids might know him because didn't he host? He hosted Last Comic Standing for a little while. He was a judge. I mean, on Last Comic Standing.
Who knows?
Oh my God. His impression of Burt Reynolds was the best.
Yeah. Well, his impression of Burt Reynolds, and also didn't he do? What was the Bond guy that was somewhat of a misogynist? One of the
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. He did. Yeah. Sean Connery. The guy, he could do it all. But when you see him on late night shows where nothing is scripted and he's just off the cuff, probably some of the funniest stuff you will ever watch. Ever. Norm, you will be missed. Boy, we didn't know that coming into this show.
No, sorry, I just dropped a bomb, but I couldn't not say it.
Okay, well, we were on.
We were talking about Vision Quest, and it was your life story.
Yeah, I was kind of that guy before that movie came out. I think I was getting ready to tell you that Gina Grad and I were talking about this. I was such a lunatic, such a crazy, look, I'm living on a bayou in Louisiana. Me getting out of there on any kind of scholarship,
right,
wasn't even the dream. The dream for me was I found this one sport I was good at. Anyone who read my book knows the story. I was kind of beat up as a kid. I had a speech impediment and what have you, and had a rough go. And then I found football. And when I found football, for once, I was good at something. So having a speech impediment, being goofed on, the same kids that were goofing on me started cheering for me, which really made me hate humanity. I mean, as a kid, I was like, wait, you hated me for years and now you're cheering for me? How does that work? My brain it just didn't register right for me. And at any rate, once I figured out I was good at something, I didn't want to, I was scared I was going to lose it. So I started working out like a madman. I was already working out with Joe for all those years because I was this nerdy kid who just, I was doing something really nerdy. Bodybuilding, big box gyms in general did not exist.
Yeah.
On a large scale. It was almost like, guys like Anna who plays Dungeons and Dragons, it's kind of
Yeah.
guys,
What?
nerdy stuff. But
Well, they still don't have gyms for Dungeons and Dragons games.
Thank God. But look, I'm back to where I was in the beginning. I right behind me, I have my rack. I do my weightlifting right behind me.
Yep.
I like doing it alone. I do belong to a gym in town, but it's a little tiny gym where other people in there. There's not about wearing fancy clothes. I haven't seen anyone with fancy clothes or anything in there.
No Lululemons.
There's no Lululemons.
No Athleta.
There's no preening of any sort. It's just some dudes and some women, and they're just in there working out. You don't see anyone doing the selfie in the mirror, taking a picture of themselves from an angle. It's just dudes. I found one of those gyms, kind of like in Rocky 3 when you need to get Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah, you better play it. How would you not play that song?
Well, because
I had that song on 45, by the way. I used to play it on my Snoopy record player.
You know what? You had a Snoopy record player?
Uh-huh.
See, did you? I might play it at the end of the show once we stop the video, but
I didn't tell you about Sean Cassidy's dog.
Oh, wait, we're going to, hey,
go ahead.
Hang on to your story. You're becoming me.
I know I am. Remember how I used to judge you 10 years ago? Like, oh my God, he can never remember any details or nouns or verbs or blah, blah, blah. And now I am you. So
yeah, you see how it happens? But it was that thing where I couldn't assimilate with other kids. So I was just kind of alone. So all I had was Joe Bonadonna and the weights and going there every day.
Did you have Linda Fiorentino move into your home to tempt you?
Oh,
I know you never would have gotten it. Let's be honest. If Linda Fiorentino had moved into your home, we wouldn't be here talking today.
Doesn't he sniff her underwear coming out of the dryer or something? Something weird like that. I think it was in that movie. He did something weird like that. But I just remembered, when I saw that movie, it came out years later after I was past that point, just working out all summer. And I was talking to Gina about this. Come May, I would take a piece of cardboard and duct tape. I would close off the vent in my room. We had, central air. I would close off the vent and then I would put cardboard and I would duct tape it up there so that my room can stay hot. I kept the door closed. I slept in a hot room. I wanted to sweat all summer. I had I still have the car, 71 Cougar. I kept the, not only not put the air conditioner on, but I put the heater on when I drove it with the windows up. In Louisiana heat, I wanted my body to be so used to heat all the time. It was this crazy thing, right? I just had to do this. And this is all part of in my brain, just becoming this different person. And, if I looked at the clock and it was under 3 hours, I wouldn't leave the gym. I would start doing something else in the gym. I would keep working out. And I would just stand there and work out. I would go work out. I'd go to the football field in the heat of Louisiana heat with that 100% humidity at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That was my time to be there when that sun was just beaming down.
Ooh, and that's some Jerry Rice shit.
Anyone without talent like me, that's what you do. You make it.
You have to suffer.
And then at the end of it, every night, I would get in bed and I would wait until I got comfortable. I wouldn't just get in bed and get out. I would get in bed. The lights were, I would have that door closed. It's pitch black in my room and it's dark and my body would relax. And I'm in that hot room and my body would relax into the heat of that room. And as soon as I would relax, as soon as I felt like I was drifting off, I would get up. I would get on the floor and do push-ups. I wouldn't do it after I brushed my teeth before I got in bed. I would get in bed and relax. And it was all symbolization for it. It was all symbols because I would say to myself, if I'm resting, someone else is working. That's what I felt like.
Yeah, but that you had me up until that last thing. And then I'm like, but you have to rest if you're working out that hard.
I would
You
get
know
back
that now, right?
after I got Gina. Okay. Gina, other Gina, Anna.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Thank you for correcting yourself.
Here's the thing. Doing sprint on a football field at 1 PM is crazy. Why not?
I know.
6 o'clock when it cools off a bit and the sun's going down.
I agree.
Knowing that you're done with your workout at 2.5 hours and working out for another half an hour. Sometimes I would do 10 and 12 sets of squats.
So you're making my point for me.
Yeah, I was killing myself. Didn't matter. It was all about mental toughness for me. I'm not saying what I was doing was right. I didn't know any better. Right. But it was just like the guy in Vision Quest. You just
I like mental toughness. I think it's a good thing.
If I got to the end of the summer, I used to use these Everlast, everyone's going to remember them, Everlast leather jump ropes.
Mm-hmm.
If I got to the end of the summer and it didn't break from wearing out in the middle where it keeps hitting the ground, I didn't jump enough. And if I saw that rope wasn't getting thin enough by August, I would spend double and triple time on that jump rope until it broke. I had to break a rope every summer.
Listen, I have the same sort of discipline when watching The Real Housewives. So you don't have to tell me about mental toughness.
You get it.
Yeah.
But that's the way my world worked. And I remember when that movie, what year did Vision Quest come out?
85.
Okay. I was already out of football when that movie came out. And when I saw it, I went, oh my God. That was me. That I was that guy. I was Matthew Modine. And by the way, a lot of kids my age, we saw Rocky in 1976. I was already in the gym. I was 14 years old. I was already pumped up a bit. I was already working out a bunch. I was already playing football. And a lot of people my age, Corolla's the same way. We will sit down and talk about Rocky like it came out last week. Because that movie meant something to people our age. I wonder if movies do that today to kids.
I wonder if they do.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, Bill Meadows. I met Bill Meadows on a bike ride.
Yeah.
In between clients, I saw him on Sepulveda Pass. He happened to look down when we were riding next to each other and he goes, "Oh, Universal Cycles." He saw that written on my water bottle. And we started chatting. That started a friendship.
He regrets doing that now.
Oh, he regrets it full on. But that was the beginning. And then we started talking about the 508 and he goes, "Oh, I've done the 508 or I'm getting ready to do the 508. He was doing it on a team.
Right.
And, I was like, yeah. And then we ran into each other like a week later at the bike shop because whenever I wasn't on the bike, I was at the bike shop because something was broken. If I wasn't wearing out parts, I wasn't riding enough. Bottom line. And that, when people wonder what it takes to make it, we live in this new generation where everyone cries over spilled milk and you did me wrong and that happened to me because of you and the whole thing. Buck up, society. Buck up. Because it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. Get out there and do it. I know I sound like old man Vinny when I do that.
No, you know what? It's interesting. We were talking on the Clubhouse last night and it hit me about the quietness. Like NSNG to me is a very quiet way of eating. Here's not to say that like people aren't out there proselytizing, but keto is loud. NSNG is quiet. And I feel like true hard work and success is the same thing. Like you just put the work in and eventually people will ask you questions. What are you doing? What are you doing? And you will get to answer those questions. But it's funny when people have not made that change, because we were talking about how it's no problem for somebody to say like, you eat that animal fat, you're going to get a heart attack. You have all that fat, you're going to die. All that cholesterol, it's going to kill you. Those kind of things that we now know are inaccurate, and how loud, but people are the same way about money and success and work ethic too. Yeah. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. Why are you doing this? You're working yourself to the bone. What are you doing? Instead of going, Good for you. What are you doing? I'd like to know what you're doing so I can do that too.
Well,
Which is what I never understood, especially from, I got to say, from my young comic friends who, I've been around the block. I've been doing this for a little while. And if I ever get attitude with like, oh, you get to upgrade to guacamole and you can afford that. And I say, yes. You know what I mean? You get to add on to guacamole and you don't blink an eye. Yes. That's a very simple example. But I go, hey, why don't you say, hey, what are you doing? Because I want to do what you're doing.
And
tell me everything. And I've always asked that question of people.
Yeah.
Tell me everything because I want to do what you're doing. I want that life.
You don't get guacamole on day one in this life.
No, you gotta earn your
work for the guac. And look, and I know you get it because you and I have talked about this off the air. But a lot of people will say to me, hey man, I just started a podcast. Mm-hmm. I go, yeah, it's great. And it's like, can you give me some advice? I say, yeah, I use the Rodecaster Pro and, I zoom in and, and this and that and the whole thing. And they'll go, how do you make money?
Oh, that's always the first question.
Hang on.
How do you monetize?
How do you monetize? And I'm like, first off,
you don't.
You don't. You have to have other things going.
You got to work your butt off.
And they'll say, well, how do you get advertisers? And I'll just say to them, go after Amazon first. If you're bringing in enough people to go to Amazon, that means that you can bring in money. If you can't,
that's right.
Yeah, I might only make $50 a month if I do Amazon. It's like, well, that's what you're worth. Sorry, that's what you're worth.
I sit in a lot of podcasting rooms as a moderator for people who want to start podcasts. And by the way, there's a phrase now for it. For all the podcasts that we've seen come and go since this podcast has been going, it's called pod fade. When people do like 10 to 20 episodes and then peter out. And you and I were just getting started. That was just 1 month for us.
We had done 10 podcasts by our third week.
We did 10 podcasts before we even put up a podcast.
Yeah.
Like we were banking them.
Yeah.
And then the first question is always how to monetize. And what drives me crazy are it's the same thing with the quote unquote keto coaches. There's podcast coaches and all their bios say like, I can show you how to monetize your podcast from day one. And I'm like, it's bullshit. You don't just instantly start a podcast and start making money.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You have to put some work in. You don't just instantly start NSNG and you drop 80 pounds overnight. That would be very painful if that happened.
And so when you start making money on a podcast, this podcast grosses a fair amount of money. But all of that money goes out and some money goes out of my pocket just to keep it running. So what does that mean? The podcast brings in money. I'll just do a little podcast 101 here. It brings in money from Villa Cappelli, who we're going to have Crutchfield on the show in a little bit.
Yep. In about 10, 15 minutes, we're going to email him.
We have Belcampo brings in money that way. You guys go to Amazon and click through VinnieTortorich.com. It brings in money that way.
Helpful. Yep.
And
super fans.
We have the super fans. So we have 4 ways of bringing in money to this podcast. All of that money goes. So that's the problem. When you get a big podcast like this one, after 10 years and over 1,900 going into 2,000 shows, yeah, you get a big podcast, right? You'll get a lot of listeners if you don't have, what did you call it? Podcast?
Pod fade.
Pod fade? If you don't get pod fade and you just stay there, you will start making some money, but it's going to start costing you some money.
For sure. And I will say, you and I both have left a lot of money on the table. We don't take on extra sponsors. We only take on things that we use and believe in.
Yeah.
There are probably ways we could have monetized and done Patreon and all sorts of different ways to have extra content and paywall content. And
people talk to us.
We don't really do that. We should, guys, but we don't.
We really should. People would look at our numbers and, like we'd bring these experts in early on and they would see our numbers and we'd go, okay, you can monetize this and you can make a lot of money. And I would go, great. I want to make money. That sounds good. Anna, we got a lot of people. Let's go make money. And they'll go, okay, you got to bullshit people for about 30, 45 minutes and tell them if they want the real show, they have to go behind the paywall.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what about?
I don't like doing it that way, but I think there's
for
probably
help.
more integrous ways to do it. And we
I-
also
I'm-
talk about you with the PDF. You could have been charging $3 a download, little things like that, that we've chosen not to do, and not to say that you won't choose to do it in the future. You have every right to do that. You have every right to
Anna, I
make a
said I
dollar.
would do it. I said I would do it last January 1st.
It's
I
time
may
for you
do
to
it this January 1st. I don't know. The reason I may do it is I've been told by every expert that if I put a price on it, then, and the price could be $10. That's not a lot of money. Anyone can afford. I think someone like Scott King, who lost 300-400 pounds, I think a guy like that would have paid $10.
Yeah.
If they're serious about it, they would have paid $10. Now he got it for free and lost 300 pounds. That's fine.
But here's what I'm thinking.
I might have to put a price on it.
Our community trusts us,
Right.
because we haven't used every excuse to monetize, right? We're selective about what we do, right? And I think that's built trust. I hope it has. I hope people trust us and don't think we're bullshitting them, because our integrity is very important to both of us.
Yeah.
That's like the very, 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 if not the number one value that we filter everything through. And people, because of that, the backbone of this entire NSNG movement are people like Scott King, who then become examples in the community, but more importantly, talk to their loved ones in their life, their friends, their family members, their neighbors, their mailman, their whatever. And so that's why, to me, it's like, yes, it's a smaller community without so much misinformation. Instead, it's more, you know what I mean? It's like more accurate information being disseminated, which makes it a sturdier thing. And I think that that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have this if it weren't for, Scott King, Jackie Jones, Kurt Lapierre, Craig Burnt, Lonnie and Trey and everybody. I mean, I could go on and on and on. I don't mean to not mention people, because there's so many people out there. They're the reason for this even working.
Right, right.
People who are on Twitter all the time with us, and somebody wrote me yesterday. Did you see him? He said, he signs off every tweet, NSNG for life. I'm like, yes, that's awesome.
Because it works. And look, I'm going to tell you, our next door neighbors, we've become friends with them. I like to call them a millennial couple. I think they're 39.
That's millennial.
40. And, or 39 and 38. Husband and wife, they got 4 boys. So it kind of reminds me because I was one of 4 boys.
Right.
And they're always in the cul-de-sac playing basketball. And I'll stop by and shoot some hoops and throw some footballs with them, and do whatever every other day or so. And we have a pool and we don't swim in it. So I said, look, I have the upkeep of this pool that I don't use. Please, family, don't even come and ask us. Just, if a parent's with you, go in the backyard, swim your ass off, please. Pee in my pool, do whatever you want. I don't care. Yeah. And whatever you do, don't get bitten. So, we invited them, and the mom, she's in excellent shape, man. She works out like a fiend. She's walking. She even bought a concept too after she tried mine out. She's like, I got to get one of those and the whole thing. And I soft pedaled to them a couple of times, maybe cut down on some grains and this kind of thing. And he shut me down one day and said, look, it's never going to happen. I said, babe, I'm sorry, man. I mean to proselytize or whatever. But, I know your wife.
Even Vinnie gets the snapping turtle.
Well, when you start asking me about fitness and getting in shape, which was the conversation,
right?
It's like, and, if you do this, less inflammation. And so I don't know what it was, but Serena invited the family over for dinner. The mom, the dad, and the 4 boys.
Mm-hmm.
We made meatballs with balls of mozzarella in there and Anna's marinara. So it was a big pot of just meatballs, giant, just big meatballs and all that. Now, Serena did the squash. What do you call it? The squash.
The spaghetti squash.
Spaghetti squash.
Mm-hmm.
And the parents were eating that and they go, "Oh my God, this is delicious." The youngest kid, we made vermicelli pasta for him because the
Right.
mom said there's no way he's going to do it.
Right.
So
I get it. I
pasta
raised
was
the noodle
actually
nugget kid. It's all right.
pasta was boiled in my kitchen, Anna. You got to do what you got to do. So they were eating this going, "Wait a minute. Did you guys just make this for us or is this how you eat?" It's like, "This is how we eat." And they're going, "Well, wait, we can eat like this." Yeah. I think they thought we just sat
Right.
down and just hammered steaks and ate eggs and that was it. I don't know what they thought. Right?
I think people think it's a lot of salads or something. I don't know.
I don't know. But one of the kids said, "This is the best meal
Just
I've ever
bacon and
had."
eggs.
You know,
Yeah.
"Mommy, why can't we have this?" And she's looking around going, "We can have this." Yeah. That's now their favorite meal.
Give me their address. I'll send them a book.
Okay. Just
Text
my
me your name and
my
address.
address, but 2 numbers over.
Or send me your address. I'll send you a book to give to them.
Great. Great. I shall.
Great.
Send them the first book. Send them that. All right,
I
wait.
don't even know. I have both. I'll send them both books. I don't know if I have your new address since you moved.
Yeah, we don't want you knowing where we
Hey,
are.
hey, I was wondering if I could come over.
Yeah,
Hey, can I come over and hang out with you guys?
busy. You know, I got things going.
I mean, I won't be any trouble. I'll just
No, yeah, maybe one
maybe
day we can talk.
watch TV. Yeah.
Maybe text me. Give me a text and I'll get
Okay.
back.
Well,
to
next
you.
time I'm in Virginia, I'll be
saying,
at
you
your
know,
house.
I know you like watching the Housewife.
Yeah, yeah. We can watch Housewives and work out. And,
Yeah, we'll
make.
see. We'll see.
I'm a good cook.
Well, in that case, my address is.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what other address I like? I like the address of belcampo.com. Bells.
That is an address everyone should frequent.
I just interviewed Anya Fernald again. I can't get enough of that woman. I might be in love. I might be in love.
I think you are in love.
Anyway, Anya Fernald, she's the owner of belcampo.com. Vinnie Tortorich is now using Belcampo because they're still dealing with the storm down. They're still dealing with Ida. And my mom
I
said,
can't believe they're still dealing with it.
well, you see, my parents have electricity because they got the generator, but I think their electricity came back now. But she's like, we can't trust the meat around here. These stores could be selling meat that sat around, got warm. Who knows? My mom told me, she goes, I was about to buy some butter the other day and I could tell where the package had melted and reconstituted. She goes, I don't want that butter. How do I know that didn't happen to the meat? Right. So she's right. So she went to Belcampo and she calls me. She goes, I had no idea. She goes, it shows up perfectly. It shows up at my door, the whole thing. And she got the 15% Vinnie discount by putting in promo code Vinnie, Vinnie. So if you want to be like Vinnie Tortorich, go to Belcampo. Here's 2 ways to save. 1, put in promo code Vinnie, Vinnie, 15% off. But make sure you spend at least $120. Or after they take that 15% discount, you're still over $100. And that will get you free shipping. Or you could do what Marie did, just get $300 worth of meat and you're set for a while. I mean, she and Cy won't go through that for a bit. That's a lot of meat, right? Buy it all at once. Now you're not wondering what you're going to have at your next meal. Belcampo.com, promo code Vinnie. Let them know we sent you. And be sure to listen to that Anya Fernald video on Friday. What else you got, Anna?
I think we should get Steven on. It's time.
Oh boy.
Because we have a ton more stuff that we can save for a future show.
Like what? Tell people what we might be able to save. Anna.
Oh boy. Well, first of all, Scott Mulvaney forwarded an email this is where the publicist people always drive me nuts. Not Scott, but the people who emailed Scott saying like, hey, don't you want to have this plant-based doctor on to tell you how to get rid of all of your autoimmune diseases? Which, by the way, that sentence is so problematic, like everything I just said.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that. I have 5 new supplement names that may or may not be actual supplements.
I love those. Can you give me one?
Want to do one real quick?
Let's see how many we could do before Stephen Crutchfield comes on. Yeah, I always love an anecdote.
Ready?
Now, folks, if you don't
I'm
know,
going to just say the name, or should I tell you what it also does? And then you tell me if it's real or
maybe
not.
I may ask, for a clarification because, folks, I own a supplement company. So let's see what happens here. Go on, Anna.
And you have a new fish oil
That's right.
capsule.
EPA DHA with krill.
EPA DHA with krill.
And by the way, we are selling out on that stuff. It's amazing.
That's great.
We've never had an opening of a new product like this product. Do one.
I don't see why
Steve is
somebody
putting on.
wouldn't take that every single day of their lives.
All right, Anna, give me one before I bring Steve.
Okay. Pendulum Life.
Pendulum Life.
Pendulum Life.
Okay.
Is this a real supplement or a fake supplement?
It's so douchey.
This is, by the way, all from my Instagram feed. Is it real or is it fake?
Okay. It's so douchey. I'm going to have to go with real.
It is real. It's blood sugar / glucose control. It's real and endorsed by Asprey. Hi, Stephen.
Endorsed by Dave
Hello.
Asprey.
Oh, he's got a shitty connection. Stephen,
Yep.
there he is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Look at this hot man.
Yeah. Anna, calm down. He's gay.
I don't care. I'm gonna change him.
Is that mustache for the October thing that they do every year?
No, he's just had that.
Yeah, I just did it. I needed a new look, a new me for a while. So
I love it.
yeah, I did. I think subconsciously I went to that Tom Selleck thing. When I was young,
Yeah.
it was my first.
You're way too young to do Tom Selleck look.
No, but remember in my 80s, the crush on Tom Selleck. Oh my god.
That's true. That's fair.
So,
But Stephen, I kept a mustache.
Stephen Crutchfield from Cappelli, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Stephen, I kept a mustache all the way through college because back in my day, linebackers just had mustaches back in the early 80s.
that's funny.
It wasn't
Line-
ironic.
Linebackers were gay before they knew it.
Yeah.
Stashes are not gay. Let's get that clear. Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's see. Let's do some math. You're gay and you have a mustache.
Okay.
I'm not
Vinny and I
gay.
both shave our mustaches. So
Yeah, Anna's got to shave hers. Italian and all. You know how that goes.
you know how it is. You're surrounded.
So, Steve,
Steven, we're playing a quick game and you can play with us.
Okay.
I am naming names of supplement companies that come up in it used to be diets. Now it's supplement companies that come up in my Instagram feed. And you guys have to decide if it's real or fake. Am I making this up or is it real? The first one I just said was Pendulum Life, which is real. And it's a blood sugar supplement endorsed by Dave Asprey.
okay, which is crazy.
Okay. The guy who's supposed to be telling people to eat real food. Okay.
By the way, Anna, do we know what's in that product?
No idea. I haven't by the look. Here's one. Akkermansia. 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 The probiotic everyone is talking about.
Okay, you go first, Stephen. Real or fake?
I'll say real.
I'm going to go with fake. There's no way that you're going to come up with that name.
It's real.
Ackermansia.
I'm sorry. It's the probiotic everyone is talking about.
Except I've never heard of it. And do we know what's in that one?
No, it's some sort of probiotic. It's some strain of bacteria that apparently we will all die without taking.
Okay.
All right, ready? Nourished.
I know this one. That one's real, right? Yes, real.
It sounds too good to be real. That sounds like something Anna made up in a lab, like in a
Nourished.
pond. It's fake.
It's real.
Wow.
I feel like Steven and I have the same Instagram feed.
I think I've seen that one before.
You know what it is? It's 3D printed gummy vitamins with sugar coating on the outside of them. And they're custom made for you, which, by the way, 3D printed, isn't that just manufactured or stamped vitamin? I don't know. Aren't all vitamins technically 3D printed because you're putting them together? Anyway,
Well, it's three-dimensional.
It's candy.
to begin with.
it's candy is what
Yeah,
it is.
it is candy.
Custom made candy. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Here's one. Kenko. Kenko.
Okay.
Kenkko. Kenkco. Kenkko.
I'll say fake.
Yeah, I got to go with Steven. That's fake because it sounds
Real.
like
It's real.
that's real.
And what it is little packets of powdered fruits and vegetables to put in your smoothies. I'm like, why don't you just put real fruits and vegetables in your smoothies? It's like just complete, and it's not even like the fiber, it's just powdered. Like they've desiccated the fruit or vegetables and then pulverized it. So it's just basically straight sugar. It looks like Kool-Aid
Wow.
in the packets.
Ginkgo.
Kenkko.
Kenko.
Kenkko. It's catchy, you guys.
Okay. Yeah, it rolls right off the
One
tongue.
more. Water drop.
What?
Water drop.
Water drop.
Water drop.
What would it even be selling? I'm gonna say fake on that one. Come on.
Well, water is a thing.
Water drop.
Yeah, but what are you selling?
I'm gonna go with real on that.
It's real. And for the first time we played this game, I have only listed all real products and they're all ridiculous. Water drop is to make you drink more water.
So
How
it's
about
salt? What is it? I mean,
No, I'm sure it's sugar. I'm sure it's a sugar drop to make your water taste like lemonade.
oh, okay. You put it in the water. Okay.
Anna, I don't believe in just hoo-ha stuff. And I did a deep dive the other day because at 59 years old, I'm waking up a couple of times a night, just like most guys. I went and had my prostate checked, as I do often.
Mm-hmm.
And, it becomes enlarged, but it doesn't mean your cancer is all men. When you hit a certain age, it becomes a bit enlarged.
Right.
And there are different ways you can handle it. There's a new process where they stick a thing up your urethra and they steam and they kill off some of the stuff. You don't have to do the old twerp or terp method or whatever guys used to do, because that's painful and it causes other problems. And I'm looking at everything because it's not bad for me yet, but it's waking me up a few times per night. So
Waking you up to pee or waking you up?
Yeah, you got to wake up and pee. And
Okay. So all women all over the world are like, welcome to our world.
yeah, but we're not women. We're used to
I
sleeping
know.
through the night.
I know you're used to getting your beauty rest. I get it.
Yeah. And you sit there and you go, all right, so at first I was waking up once, and then a year passes and I'm waking up twice, and it seems to only be going in one direction. So I went and visited a doctor and said, hey, what do we do about this? And they said, oh, well, you can do the surgery and this and the whole thing. Or you could take, I don't know if you know this, you can take Cialis, the one,
The boner
yeah.
pill?
the boner pill, in very, very low doses. And apparently it won't give you a boner, but it will do this. But Cialis is a drug. So I'm taking a wait a minute on that.
Right.
But the doctor said, saw palmetto. And I went, yeah, I've read a bunch of stuff. So I did a deep dive on saw palmetto.
Mm-hmm. Are we a fan?
Huh?
Do we like saw palmetto?
No, there's not one study that shows where it does anything. Yet, when you go to the internet, everything was saw palmetto. Get your saw palmetto, which will help.
Well, somebody must have released a thing saying saw palmetto was God's gift, just like they did with the grapeseed oil and the olive oil.
And
about the smoke point.
I was hearing about saw palmetto with clients all the way back into the 90s. They've been doing it for years, and it's not new. But when I did a deep dive on it, I couldn't find one scientific study that showed that it did anything, period. Stephen, do you know anything? You were married to a guy that was a little older than you. Did he have anything or?
No, nothing with that stuff. No, but yeah.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Stephen, I was telling Vinny a couple weeks ago, I was being on someone else's podcast, and she is celiac, but not NSNG. Had no idea. Cutting carbs, keto terrified her. So she was asking me, what are the best gluten-free pastas and cookies and yada, yada, yada. And I said, let me reserve the answer to that question until the end of our interview. Not that I'm holding out on you, but I am. And then she had brought up, she goes, she first of all said, well, keto's bad for you. And I had to clear up the ketoacidosis versus dietary ketosis thing. And by the way, this woman had to have been 10 years younger than me. So I was like, this is strange. Usually it's people who are older than me who have the misconception, right? And then she said, but I said something about cooking in olive oil. And she said, what's your favorite? I said, Villa Cappelli. And she said, but you can't like heat it in a pan, right? Because of the smoke point. And I was like, good. Am I having a conversation with 1998 right now? Like, what is happening? Like,
yeah, the whole smoke point thing.
It's still very much out there. What do you say to people, Stephen, when they're still there? And I know we're going to talk more Villa Cappelli stuff, but like that was so immediate that I was like, what? No, it was bad PR. Get over it.
Yeah. I mean, I just use the example, my personal example, which I cook on, I pan fry. You can't deep fry, obviously. I mean, You're not going to heat them, but it is. I actually looked this up. What is it in here? 425 is for 425 degrees Fahrenheit is for extra quality, extra virgin olive oil. You can heat it up to that, no problem. I roast at a pretty high temperature with it. I have no problem with it. I pan fry it all the time.
So I will rub a metric ton of Villa Cappelli over my chicken before I roast it. Oh, yeah. And those juices help get it going for the basting and all that stuff. And I always started at 425 and then turn it down. And it never once crossed my mind. It's never smoked. It's never been an issue.
No, not at all. I mean, it's one of those things that's been out there. I think bad quality olive oil does have a low smoke point, but extra virgin is actually higher. I mean, unfortunately for most people, the cost is cost prohibitive to actually like pan fry. But I mean, if you're doing something like you just said, covering your chicken or roasting your vegetables in it,
pan frying. When you say pan fry, though, I'm talking about putting chicken cutlets in the thing.
It's not a lot. Yeah, you're not using a lot there. I mean,
I
use it all
deep frying because that's
like calamari. You know, I mean, back in the day when I was doing for guests, flouring calamari. I mean, it was flouring, but I was doing actual frying, actually in olive oil. So that was cost prohibitive. But yeah, like a pan fry, like a chicken cutlet. Yeah, you're putting in 2 tablespoons at the most, right?
Right. I mean, you could do butter, or you could do coconut oil. I'm just so used to cooking with olive oil. That's what I always. Yeah. But I've never had a problem with things smoking. I've just never seen it happen, and I've made a lot of shit in your olive oil. So. For like 10 years now, pretty much. I eat your product every day for 10. You're a part of me. You're deep inside me, Stephen.
You're making me. No,
yeah, he's sweating over there, Anna.
What did you make us for a cocktail tonight, Stephen?
Nothing, just water. I'm doing water. I'm doing good. I know. No, you know what? I've been having some tummy trouble, so I'm sticking to water for a while.
Okay, that's a smart choice.
Yeah.
So what's going on? What do we have that's new that's coming over from Villa Cappelli? Because I'm very excited. I know the grilling salts are a huge hit. People are talking about that.
Yeah.
I actually do have some new products on the way.
Oh, good.
I'm waiting a little bit for FDA approval. That's kind of holding me up, just because they are technically acidified products. So you have to have FDA approval. There are 3 pestos. Regular
oh my God.
Yeah. A zucchini pesto and an eggplant pesto. They're all really good.
I'm getting all of this.
And then there's 3 new ones that are basically marinated vegetables. Like, so the marinated artichoke hearts in oil.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then zucchini in oil and eggplant in oil. So really good.
Perfect.
I hate eggplant, but the rest of it, I'm all in.
Yeah, I'm not a big eggplant fan either. I do like it when it's this way. I like it pickled, but normal eggplant, I'm like, why? What's the point? Sorry.
I've never understood eggplant, and I'm Italian. I get it. I'm supposed to love it. My mom now makes.
I don't know if anybody really loves it. Who do people like love it?
It's not even nutritionally that great dense. I don't think either.
No, it's nothing to it. It's peasant food.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's same. I'm the same way. I'm just like, but these are really, really good. So I'm excited about those, and then the regular stuff. So yeah, Sun-dried
So-
tomatoes are just made now, so
Are you doing more of the sun-dried tomato powder? I know you said it's a pain in the ass, but I'm going to make you do it. 'Cause I
not,
love it.
not this time. My guy who's helping me now, he was trying a tomato salt. I hadn't asked him how those came out. I have to ask him how that
A
came out.
tomato salt.
Yeah, which sounds really. I haven't tried it, and I haven't. So I have to figure that one out.
How does
But
that
just-
work? They sun-dry tomato and then powder it somehow and mix it?
That's how I for the sun-dried tomato powder. That's what we do. So basically, you take the sun-dried tomatoes and then extra dry them, almost like so they're just like when you pick them up, they're just falling apart,
Yeah.
and then you just blend them up so they're basically become a powder.
I love that powder. I wish I could get it to put it in my barbecue dust that I'm coming
Yeah.
out with because it makes it so.
I'll talk to my guy and see if he like what we can do.
You can do a
because
collab. That's what the kids say. Collab.
All the powder.
I,
I love all our powders actually. The rosemary
I am
powder.
too.
The rosemary powder to me, it's like because I'm not a big fan of the little spiny rosemary in my
Because you get it in
food.
your mouth and you're like, oh, yeah.
It's just like this, it burns and it's all. I'm like, no, I want the flavor, but I don't want the like all the spiny and the. I mean, I love fresh rosemary. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
just and especially when it becomes dry, the powder just like makes it to me a whole nother level. I love it.
I put the powders in when I make my chicken broth.
Oh
I put
yeah.
the powders in that, and it's just so herbal and so good. Hey, question for you, because you and I have talked about this on Clubhouse. Here's my least favorite question that I get on Twitter. You guys ready for
Okay.
this?
Here we go.
I know, and hold on. Let me rephrase it. Don't say Villa Cappelli. What's an olive oil that you really like? Some version of that question. Okay, don't say Villa because they know I'm obviously going to say Villa Cappelli because I'm like, I don't think you understand. That is literally all I buy.
And I think they think we're obligated to say Villa Cappelli outside of the ads on the show because I'll get
We're
that.
not.
Right. When I do the phone calls, you know, I'm already paid on the phone call. Someone is paid to be on the phone with me and they'll say, which olive oil do you use? And I'll say, well, Villa Cappelli. And they'll go, really? And I'll go, yeah. And they'll go, oh, so you're not just doing an ad? And I'll say, no, it's really that good. And they'll go, so you don't use anything else? It's like, look, when someone gives me a gift of olive oil, and if it's good olive oil, we'll use it because sometimes somebody will come over and have a little 750 milliliter thing in the basket and the whole thing.
Sure.
I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to
Sorry.
use it. But if it's got seed oils in it, you can taste the seed oil. I'm that good now. I can taste when it's crap and when it's good. And they go, so you're really, it's like, yeah, I'm not getting paid to tell you to go buy Villa Cappelli. I'm not going to tell you to use a promo code. But if you want really good olive oil, that's where you
It's
go.
reliable. That's the thing.
Yeah,
And
it's
because
reliable.
people
You
want to
don't
know,
forget.
like, why can't I just go to the grocery store and get a thing? And by the way, one of the things that you said, Stephen, and I'm gonna ask this is my blanket way of asking you, how do we look out for ourselves at the grocery store with olive oil? But like one of the things that you said on Clubhouse the other day that got me was it is more expensive. Nicer olive oil just is more expensive. And I went to, because I'm now in the middle of wine country and olive oil country. That's where I live now. And one of the wineries was doing a limited edition, smaller bottle. And it was half a liter for $35. And you've got 3 liters coming from Italy for $99.
And they're my biggest competitors, I would say, for me, like California olive oil, because they have the advantage of being local. So
Right. But it's more expensive.
It's crazy. Yeah, no.
So you're priced actually really well.
We try. We really, I mean, that's what we've always strived for as just like, I'm not going to be a millionaire off of this, but I don't want to be. Like, I want to give you a good product. And it's like, that's what the most important thing is. Like, that's what we were always passionate about. And I think you guys too, even with your products, the same thing. It's like,
Yeah.
We're not looking to be billionaires, millionaires off of this. And I mean, even Vinny, the other night when you and Andy on your call about the fish oil, I wanted to jump up and down and cheer when you said you guys are not taking on investors. Because it's just so important. Like, I'm a farmer. I answer to my customer. I don't answer to a shareholder. It's a huge difference. Like, I'm not going to give you a product that's sucks because my name is on it. My reputation is on that. It's not, and I answer directly to the consumer and the customer. I don't answer to some stupid person who's just signing paychecks to give me money. It's like, that's not what it's about. And it's also more rewarding. Like the money's great, but it's more rewarding when you get the emails. Oh my gosh, this is so great. I like, that's the reward. It's like, you know, yes, we have to make a living, but we're not making $1 million off of this. And if we were,
For me, it's just more important to sleep at night, you know, and you know, every time we look at, oh, we can get to this level really fast, but it would mean taking outside money. And as soon as you take outside money, folks, you now have a partner, and that partner can start making demands.
Yeah.
You know, and when you do that, you cannot make what we make at Pure Vitamin Club, because they would go, oh, don't use methylcobalamin in your B12, use cyanocobalamin. Well, I don't want to give people cyanide, you know.
Not interested.
You know, it's that simple,
Vinnie,
you know?
that company, I hired food chemists to help me, who they consult with small business food companies, CPG companies like mine. And they help with formulations to figure it out. And they are like the liaison between the co-man and you trying to get, because I'm taking cookbook recipes and saying, I want to make this into this. And they're saying, that's fine, but we're going to have to do this, this, and this, because you can't make that on a larger scale without either gumming up our equipment, fucking with the shelf life, you know, all this stuff. So I hired this person to be the go-between. Okay.
Calm down, Anna.
I want my money back. Number one. Okay. Number two, he gets on there and he's so fucking condescending and mansplaining to me. And he basically says to me, you know, if it's lower than 0.5% of the total volume, you don't even have to put it on the ingredient list.
Right.
And I was like, and Matt luckily was on the call with me and he's like, okay, you know, he just knew I was about to blow my stack. And Matt's a fantastic, we're talking about Matt Kelly, my business partner, who's a fantastic padding go-between. And he's much better at being bad cop than I am. Cause I just will hang up and just have a meltdown.
Anna,
I was so upset.
I was about to say,
I paid this man to A, mansplain me, and B, to tell me to lie to people.
I was going to say you need a gay guy in your corner, but you have Matt.
I have a very strong gay man in my corner.
I just send my homo out there. I send Andy because Andy, you know, Andy knows how to deal with that stuff. Like being Italian and all, and Steven gets this. He lives in Italy. He was married to an Italian. We just lose our shit, right?
I go from like the chillest to I have lost my shit. The fuse is very long, but once it goes off, it's dynamite and I cannot bear it. And I want my money back from this consultant. I'm not going to get it. It's a learning experience. I get that I have to chalk it up, but it's the same thing where I'm like, and by the way, do you want to hear how it all, if we have the go ahead now with the barbecue dust, we have the go ahead. Cause what was happening is because they gave me the sample in May and we were ready to go. I said, let's do this. And they're like, oh, we noticed it's clumping. And so I'm talking about this because Steven and I have this conversation about garlic powder. Garlic powder is it's jammy, clammy, and it clumps, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, well, it's clumping, so we can make it for you, but you can only have a 3-month shelf life, or you have to put an anti-caking agent in. So, well, what's an anti-caking agent? Cornstarch? No. Brown rice hulls? No. And they're like, but they're organic. I was like, no, we are the no sugar, no grains people. Like, I don't care if you eat sugars and grains, but I'm not going to sell people products with sugars and grains. Like it's ridiculous. And then they literally were like, the spice co-mans were like, well, what? Like, you're nuts. And so we finally, and I was like, no, we settled on this. Just make it. And they're like, okay, we'll make it, but we're only going to put a 3-month shelf life on there. I said, well, what's the point of that? By the time it's made and sent over to me and I sell it to the people, we're expired.
Yeah. Steven?
Why does the clumping have to do with the shelf life? That makes
nothing.
No sense. That's what
nothing.
No. Well, I had a consultant telling me that I had to put an expiration date on sea salt. I was like,
We go through that too.
yeah. I was like, it's not going to be bad. He's like, no, but yeah. I'm like, no, I do not. I do not want somebody throwing away a perfectly good sea salt just because I want to sell them more. It's a marketing ploy. That's all it is. Like,
marketing
salt
ploy.
does not go bad, does not go bad. He was like insisting I had to put an expiration date on it. I'm like, it's salt.
Yeah.
Impossible.
She don't expire.
Our ultra salt has salt, manganese, calcium, magnesium, potassium. These are all natural minerals that have been on this planet for billions of years.
Mm-hmm.
If
They haven't expired yet.
And they haven't expired, but once I put them in a bottle,
They
all of a
have
sudden
a
I got to
shelf
put an
life.
expiration date on them. You have to. They make you put it. It's like, wait, this has been sitting in the ground for a gazillion years. Now it's going to expire. Same thing with magnesium. You got to put an expiration date. It's magnesium.
Yeah.
It ain't going away. It's been here since God was
millennia.
here by himself, hanging around going, what am I going to do with this world? You know,
Yeah.
it's been here forever. Got to put an expiration date on it. I go through this craziness every
Here's
single
what I think,
time.
because I always listen to you. You think I don't listen to you two, especially, and I listen constantly because you two were doing this before I was doing it. So I think, well, if Stephen and Vinnie can do it and do it the way that they do it, I'm going to do it too. And it's happening. And here's how it resolved, you guys.
Go
We were on a Zoom with the co-man, which, by the way, they put a really good product out. Organic, great. I'm excited. The spice mixes taste amazing. They taste exactly like my scaled up. We went back and forth. We got 3 spice mixes coming. I'm thrilled, right? And here's how it resolved. We're on, which, by the way, with R&D, they won't show the R&D person. They'll only show our rep on. It's very weird. They're
Yeah.
always off camera and you hear them like, and like, okay, you can just talk to me. It's okay. It's so weird. I don't understand corporate America at all. How people can be off a camera on Zoom and not talk to you. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. So I hear them like whispering and, confabbing or whatever. And then they go, okay, we can do it. And I go, we can? Great. Okay, great. Do it. And Matt goes, but what happened? And they're like, well, we're coming on winter now. And I was like, will you put the 12-month shelf life? Yes. Okay, great. Done. Like, I was like, great. Hang up before they can change their minds.
And I learned
That's it.
the first
Well,
time.
we're coming up on winter. What? There is no winter here.
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
And I learned.
Well,
everything
making
I had-
barbecue dust for the winter.
Well,
Enjoy.
it's called
America.
winter barbecue. You should call it winter barbecue dust.
Maybe I should.
The one thing I learned about attorneys a long time ago, and I talked about it in my book, Fitness Confidential, is when I was in a meeting at Gallon Maury there were attorneys all around the table. Sandy Gallon was there and all these people and attorneys around the table.
Is that management company?
Yeah, they were the gay mafia in LA. They basically, they had Dolly Parton, Michael Jackson, you name it. You know, he had all of these people in-house, and they were trying to do the Margaret Cho show, and they bring me in to take weight off of her, and I took like 30 pounds off of her, and they called me back in and said, great job. You did exactly what we asked you to do, but she's still failing her screen test. And I said, well, what do you mean? She's lost. You asked for 25 pounds. I took 30 off. They said, can you take another 20 pounds off of her? And I said,
What?
yeah, well, yeah, Margaret was fat at the time. And I said, yeah, probably, but I'm going to need a lot more. I'm going to need another 6 weeks. And they said, can you take some weight out of her face?
No.
And I said, you realize that
No.
Margaret is Asian. She's Korean. She's got a big moon face, right?
Well, you
And-
don't have to say it, Vinny.
I said that, and all of a sudden, the chatter in the room, the guy from Disney first, the lawyer goes, we want to make a note that we did not say anything about Miss Cho's face or any of the like or her nationality. That's Mr. Tortorich's words, not ours. I'm like, wait, what? And then another attorney went, we too want to be on a record. We had nothing to do with what Mr. Tortorich said about Mrs. Cho's looks or her face or any part of that. We refuse to even acknowledge that. I'm like, What's going on here? And the guy from Gallimore said, they just all need to be on record to let you know that they're not ready. This is
So that's probably what was
1993.
happening in the background of my Zoom when I was about to lose my shit on them. They were probably all just,
no, that's what was going on, Anna.
even though I couldn't hear them, that was
That's
what was happening.
exactly
They were
what was
covering their
happening.
asses.
You cannot say anything in a room. If they're present, they have to stand up and start yelling, I'm not a part of this. I do not condone this. I'm like, you guys are asking me to make her face thinner. I'm telling you, she's got a big moon pie face. What the fuck do you want me to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, I'm Italian and I have the same moon pie face, so I get it.
Yeah, I've been trying to get weight out of your face for years.
You never will.
Nothing.
You never will. It just keeps getting bigger and rounder and more orange shaped.
The smaller her ass gets, the bigger her face gets.
That's true. It's true.
Unbelievable.
Stephen, that's why I want to do it how you and Vinny are doing it too. I want to bring manufacturing in-house as soon as possible. So I'm saving my money for that. Talk
Save
about
a lot, Anna. Save a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. But the fact that you guys have started this company, you keep innovating, you keep coming up with stuff, you keep sending it out. The fact that you're sending it over too, and like you, Stephen, you're actually helping me educate our audience about the clumping issue because people are like, whatever, it's fresh garlic.
You know what? It's funny you said that. It's honestly this morning I had to kill some time because the traffic. I was in the store, so I went to the store and I saw garlic powder. I was like, let me see what this. First time it's actually hard to find here. It's normally, but I saw on the shelf, picked it up. I don't even remember what the other agents. There were 4 other ingredients besides garlic in that garlic powder, and I was like, what? Like what? I didn't even know what they were. Like I was like, why? It made no sense. And it was like, and this was here in Italy. So it's like, it's just common.
Yeah, and in Italy, it's
Who made the
they're
product?
better about labeling.
Stephen, who made that product? Was it like Unilever or one of those European companies?
It was like, but you know what? It was like in a bottle, just like McCormick. It wasn't McCormick, so don't say that, but it was one of those.
McCormick.
So it could have been Barilla, one of those, right? I mean,
somebody. I don't even know the brand. I didn't even look. So I just remember seeing it, and I was like, because we had talked about it, Anna, so I picked it up just to see, and there were like 4 other ingredients, and I was like, that's just crazy to me. I mean, to me, again, like
Crazy.
soy clumps, you break it up. Why is that?
We went through the 1950s. Everything in the 1960s was making it easy for housewives when that was a thing.
That's right.
Right. It's like, oh, look how easy and convenient it is. You don't have to actually work to do anything. We still grade stuff here. Like if I want to make, we grade lemon peels and everything. We do all that kind of stuff to get essence of,
And by the way, this is why so many people are afraid to go in the kitchen, because I can't tell you the number of people who will not roast a chicken because they're afraid to touch a whole chicken. Nobody wants to butcher anything. People are afraid to stick their hand in the chicken to shove the lemon and the herbs in there. And I'm like, we've sterilized because we've sterilized the process so much. The grocery store presents the already cut chicken breast in a beautiful plastic thing. And it's,
I used to say the same thing about the fruit. Like it's one of those things. It's an amazing thing that the food industry has convinced people it's safer to buy an apple in the store than it is to pick it off of the tree and eat it. Because, oh, gosh forbid, there's a worm inside. Do you remember those old school books where you saw the little worm?
Yeah.
Worm, yeah.
I mean, the worm was like, that's you know what? That's a good apple, because the vermin and the birds, they only eat the good stuff. They don't eat the bad stuff.
right.
So it's like, it's like, but they've convinced everybody that it's a bad thing. Like,
Right.
I mean, even people come here, we'll go in the fields and pick figs directly from the trees.
Just eat them.
They'll freak out. They're like, you can just eat this? I'm like, of course you can just eat it. Like,
By the way, I wanted to end with some cocktail talk because I went to the UPIC 2 days ago because Megan North Hawks texted me a picture of a cocktail she had. And she said, you need to recreate this and make the NSNG version. She had it without any added sugar, but it was called the Huckleberry Smash. And she said it had coconut cream, huckleberry infused vodka, and lemon juice. And it was a beautiful picture. And I said, well, I don't have access to huckleberries, but I can get blackberries because they're on the end.
Yeah.
And I went down the street to the farm and we picked them. Ate them right off the thing. They tasted amazing. Unfortunately, I got prickers all over my hands because I forgot to wear gloves. But I took a whole thing of vodka, poured it over blackberries, and I'm going to let it sit. because you know Paul taught me how to make limoncello. I'm gonna let it sit, and I'm gonna macerate maybe on like day 6 or 7 a little bit, and then strain. So it's not gonna be super sweet, but it will have the essence.
Yeah.
And then try to make this cocktail that she's talking about. And then I realized I haven't been infusing my alcohol like I used to all the time. And it's time to get back to that, to my roots.
Definitely.
I have figs out there. I thought, oh, figs would be great in something. I want to do cherry infused bourbon.
I love cherry and bourbon. You know, just without the light, without the sugar, just let them sit. Just let them hang out. Yeah. You know, look, my great grandmother from the old country would do a, God, what was it? But they would put anisette. They would take bourbon and add anise to it, and they would end up adding.
I do it with vodka. I put the star anise in the vodka.
I think they would do a simple sugar in there or whatever, but
You
my
do,
mom has
but
a recipe.
I don't.
You know, just doing the anisette in the bourbon, you can do that part without doing the sugar, and it's not bad. It really is good. Infusing liquor is yeah.
What do you put in the Villa Cappelli martini? Walk us through that. Where you put the oil in it?
Extra virgin olive oil, grapefruit juice, and a little bit of basil. And is there anything else in that? No, that's it.
Sounds really refreshing.
I don't remember the proportions offhand because
if I don't like grapefruit juice, could I put lemon juice?
Oh yeah, sure.
How much are you putting?
I like lemon and
juice,
basil.
Stephen?
How much what?
How much fruit juice are you putting in there?
It's like probably 3/4 to 1/4, like 3. So 1/4, like olive oil to like, oh, then vodka. Obviously, vodka is in there. Sorry. I could look it up. I don't have my proportions.
Because I'd like to know, because if it's just a low taste of juice, with that
it could just
olive
be a
oil,
splash.
It's probably like a fourth of, like, there's like a half a cup of vodka, a fourth a cup of grapefruit, and then like a tablespoon of olive oil. And so, yeah, it's about like.
But that's 2 drinks, right?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
But you shake it. The thing I like is that you shake it, and the olive oil like emulsifies and gets like.
And you have to really shake it, because the emulsification, like, that's the only slight, like, if you leave it, the oil does start to separate, which isn't a bad thing. Because you kind of,
I'll drink that oil puddle right off the top. I don't care.
I would slurp it up like I meant it. Like I would look like I was cleaning up the Valdez spill. I would be on it so hard.
But I mean, the good thing about, I mean, for me, I don't know, you guys correct me, grapefruit juice is probably one of the least.
But it's still sugary. I want to know how much, because if it's a small amount, then I could do it with a meal or something. And, you know, because I never break out of ketosis, but with the olive oil and everything, I might be able to sneak that bad boy in.
I don't break out of ketosis with it, but that's me. I mean, I know everybody's different. I can look up the recipe. I don't have it offhand, but yeah.
Maybe we could put it in the show notes here.
Yeah.
I like to see if I could get away with it. I'll check my ketones before, my blood ketones, drink one, wait 45 minutes, an hour, and see what happens. I'll fall in that sword for the rest of the crowd, folks.
Thank you for doing that for everybody.
No problem, man.
You do so much for so many.
I'm caring. I care.
Yeah. This is the recipe real quick. Just so half an ounce of extra virgin olive oil, 1.5 of grapefruit juice, 1.5 of vodka, and then mix it. There is the one recipe that calls for simple syrup for the people that aren't NSNG that might find it too sour. I find it sweet, actually, because, you know, I don't, without the sugar, you don't need it. With the grapefruit juice, you know, so.
When can people start to come to the Villa, or when can Merkins start to come to the Villa again?
Anytime.
Is it open? Are you guys open?
I'm like, well, this year I took a mental health year off.
You deserve it.
Yes. So I'm hoping, I want to do a grand reopening in March. That's my big plan.
Oh, perfect.
So March of next year, I am officially open, and I'll have I'm just taking also time to like do little projects. Like the pool just got redone.
Yeah.
It actually looks really, really good. I have to do pictures. I'm going to do some garden projects. I'm painting the rooms, stuff like that. So it's like, I just kind of want to spruce everything up to get it extra special. And then I want to reopen. So that's kind of the plan.
For people who are newer to the show, you can also go and stay at Villa Cappelli and literally live the sweet life. It's awesome there.
But you can't put the promo code Vinny in for that.
No, you can't. There's no promo code for that.
I don't
for
think
the oil.
Steven actually makes any money on that. He
No.
probably breaks even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but but friends of the podcast, I'm always willing to talk. So let me know.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys go visit. Puglia is a beautiful place. I need
Oh
to
my
get
gosh.
there. I've been around that area. I've never been.
I
inside
know
of
you were
Puglia.
close one time, Vinny. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were,
Kristen
But-
got a house for us somewhere around there, and we were out in the countryside. We weren't that far away.
yeah.
I need to make it there. I need to come hang with you.
Yeah.
We should do it. We should still do an NSNG.
I know we really should do that.
I'm up for it. I mean, once people are traveling and not scared to travel.
Yeah.
I have like tons of, and now I have a friend who has a B&B just down the road, another friend with another B&B just down the road. So I
Plenty
think I
of
count
places to stay.
17 rooms I could end up doing, so it could be a nice big group if we really wanted to do something.
That's pretty
So-
great.
I'm going to be in England around Christmas, but we won't be able to get over. I'm staying with Kristen for this one, and outside of London, and I'm trying to get on a pheasant shoot before I leave. And I'm having trouble. Serena's saying, well, we're going to have to stay another couple of days if you want to go do that, and I'd like to hunt in Europe. I've never hunted in Europe, so might be on a pheasant shoot there, but I don't think we're going to make Italy on this trip. And maybe next summer, I'm planning on doing maybe Mont Blanc again or something in Zurich, outside of Zurich. So that might be a good time to come in.
Next
Yeah.
summer, I'm going to have my citizenship, so I have no excuse.
Oh, wow. Really cool.
Mm-hmm. Me
I
and
should get
Lucy.
mine. I can get mine too.
Yeah.
You guys
They're
should
just
like
they're just giving it away.
I know.
it. Paul's kids are actually having a little bit difficulty with it, but
Really?
podcast. Yeah, he broke. It's called he broke the chain because he was a U.S. citizen when they were born. At the time, it screwed everything up. The law at the time, they can't actually do it. Whereas people that have never met their grandfather, they wasn't even born, wasn't even alive when they were born, they have their citizenship. Meanwhile, they are first generation.
That makes no sense.
No,
Anna got hers. She's barely.
Well, no,
Italian.
we have to do a 1948 case.
I'll see. Okay.
So,
What-
because my grandmother was an Italian citizen, but born in the U.S. But since her parents never renounced, because they had that thing where you had to sign that, like, I renounce Victor Emmanuel II or whoever,
Yeah.
and so they never renounced. My other grandfather's side, he did renounce, and he fought for America in World War I. So, but my grandmother and her parents did not. So what they do is, because she was an Italian citizen, she gave birth to my dad on American soil. Because she's never renounced, technically everybody's Italian citizens.
Also but there's an issue. I don't remember the law. Did you have an issue because she's a woman?
Yes, but that's the 1948 case. Because so back then, if you had a child before 1948, the mother was not considered a citizen. And now Italy realizes that that's sexist. So you argue it in a 1948 case, and they usually are successful.
Well,
Yeah,
Paul's
but
cousin,
we'll see. I mean, they might say no, and we might have to appeal it. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. Well, Paul's cousin, if you need another, I mean, I'm sure you have a lawyer already, but Paul's cousin did that. She's in Rome. She did it. She won it. She's a lawyer. He's won every single case that he's ever.
Oh,
presented.
wow.
I'm going to
It's been
use.
just-
Is his name
Yeah.
Marco?
I'll find out.
Okay. I wonder if I hope it's my lawyer.
Anna, if you get in, I'm going to use the Anna Vocino defense. I'm going. She's barely fucking even an Italian. All of my grandparents, everyone's Italian. You got to let me in, and I do this a lot. Come on,
You do that a lot.
addition, I should be in.
You have to do this, Vin. You have to do the hand.
Oh, I do them all. I do it all. Yeah, we do it
I've
all.
never heard you say Bafangul, so
Oh,
I don't know if you are
get
Italian.
Get Marie on the phone. That's her favorite word. She says it in church.
she should not be talking that way. That is unseemly.
Oh, Marie can talk. Yes, folks. The other person I can talk is Villa Cappelli. They can talk about their olive oil. It's the best olive oil on the planet. We've been
On the
talking to the owner here, and he does it just the way we do it. As a matter of fact, we use his product in our vitamin D3 at purevitaminclub.com because, quite frankly, I just don't trust any other oil on the planet. So if you want to save 10% on, look, there's three.
Oh my God, look, Steven's holding it up. He's holding
We
up.
got it right there. Look at
Yeah.
that. We sell in Europe. God, I'm so big. I'm like US oil. I'm that big.
Yeah.
I'm like US. What is it? Standard oil. US.
Steven's holding your big D on camera.
Yeah, he's got my D. Steven's hanging on to my D real tight. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That is
Now
wrong
it's a
in every
show.
direction.
Now it's a show.
Yeah. Now you see, and he's not even drinking now.
I know, that's him sober.
Listen, folks.
I knew I'd get him loosened up.
There's three ways to cheat Stephen Crutchfield. Number one, get the 3 liter 10 because when you buy more oil, he sells it for cheaper.
Hello.
The 3 liter 10.
Yeah.
Number two, put in promo code Vinnie, VINNIE, no wimpy Y, you'll get 10% off. That's 2 ways to cheat. But wait, there's more. If you spend over $100, he'll ship the stuff to you for free. And I don't think he's done the arithmetic. But oil is heavy. 3 liters is heavy. So he shouldn't be doing this. So get some of that tomato paste or that stuff that clumps up, the tomato.
Get the salts, get the garlic powder, get the rosemary powder.
Get it over $110.
grilling salt.
That'll drop you to $100 total. You get the 10% discount plus free shipping.
Oh, you got the KTM back in.
You have
Yeah,
the-
and here, by the way, that's a prize because I did not plant
I didn't
peppers
think it
this
was coming back in.
Now it's in, but yet that's for people who like that. It's a limited time for this year.
Yeah,
because
you guys got to get that.
I won't have it until probably next fall even. So that's a whole nother year because my vendor didn't come through with me for peppers this year. So I didn't have any peppers to plant. So yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, I'm
I
ordering
want to
that.
be one of the few, the proud that gets the KTM. Go now. Get the lemon oil too. You're not. Trust me. Get the
That
lemon
one
oil.
might be. Hold on. That one might be sold out. Hold on.
I hope it's close. The lemon oil is close actually because you guys pushed the lemon oil.
No, lemon oil and garlic oil are both in stock.
right now. So go
Mhm.
get it.
Yep.
And
Not
those
for
are
long.
limited too because I did ship a limited number of those for this year. So
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to go get mine before the show comes out because we can end up selling it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I'm mean that way.
Yeah.
So go check it out. Promo code Vinnie.
Yeah. Those are the 3 ways to rip off Stephen Crutchfield.
But speaking of selling out, I do want to just before we leave, whatever, I want to thank you guys on a personal note very much. Hopefully I don't get emotional about this, but
I'm gonna
just-
cry too.
I know, but just you guys have been very, very like supportive. And so I really, really appreciate it. Not just you guys personally, all your listeners. Like I couldn't keep doing this if it wasn't for your support. So yeah, it's been really, really, really important for me. So I really, really want to thank you for that. So,
now he's going to make me cry.
I know.
Oh, I hate when this happens to me. Hang on.
I love Paul.
We do miss Paul, Stephen.
We miss him a lot.
You want to come in
I know
camera
you
and say hi to Stephen Crutchfield's on the camera, and we're finishing up the
Hi.
show.
Hi.
You. Hi, Anna.
He's saying hi. to you.
Hello.
Going.
Yeah, we're
It's
ending
great.
the show right now, but she just came downstairs, and I
I
wanted
came to
to.
get your phone because I need the code they sent you.
Oh, here you go. Take it. Get it out of here. Wait, don't let anyone
Log
see
in.
my phones around.
Tell us the passwords, quick.
Sadly, not that interesting. See you soon.
Hi.
All right. Good to see you.
Stephen, thank you. That means a lot, and we look forward to your continued success. And
Thank you.
it's been rough. It's been a rough year. On top of
Yeah.
COVID, you lost the love of your life, and it's rough all the way around. We get it, and we're
No, but
always
it's-
pulling for you.
It's exciting again, like to work with you guys on so many levels, just so that we all have the same vision of giving good quality products to the people. I mean, I think it's just from the start, it's been that way. And I love that. I love that we had this just shared vision of what giving good food and good products and good information to people is all about. And I think it's just, I mean, I applaud you guys for continuing it so much, and it's just been so great. So thank you.
Well, no, thank you. And Stephen, hang on. We want to say goodbye to you, obviously off the air.
I was going to
Um,
say once I found out from Stephen that he was going to continue the work of Villa Cappelli, that he was going to continue to run the company, I feel like I might have leaned in a little bit. I was like, okay, well, we can, what do you need? We're going to do this, man. We're going to do it. And you really, really, I mean, being in the face of everything that you've gone through and losing Paul and being in the pandemic and being in Italy and learning Italian and getting, because so much stuff Paul did. Like you guys had this division of labor that really worked for you.
Yeah.
And then
it was-
it totally had to shift. And
yeah, and look, it can't be easy. I mean, you're from Texas. Yeah, you're a fish out of water, and here you are. You know, the love of your life dies, the anchor. You know, the whole thing, and there you are. You know, so more power to you.
yeah,
Thank you.
we love you.
Hang on, Stephen. We want to say goodbye to you off the air. Folks, if you like what's going on here, you know what to do. We all go shopping at Amazon. Before you do that, go to VinnieTortorich.com and click through the banner. We also have the Superfan page. You can do that. Anna Vocino,
Yeah.
she's out of her mind because she's got 4 products now. One is on pre-order. She's got the puttanesca. She's got the marinara. She's got the pink sauce called the crema. I call it pink sauce because I'm Italian. And now she's got the pumpkin. Is that limited time on the pumpkin?
It is limited time and we're only making 1 kettle's worth. So order it now and it will sell out. And it's made with Villa Cappelli olive oil as well.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Oh my God.
It's really good.
I can't wait to try.
I wish I could send some to you without having to ship an entire boatload of a pallet of stuff to you. One day I'll bring it in my suitcase.
So please go check out everything. She also has books that will teach you how to cook that. It's called Eat Happy Cookbook. It's the Eat Happy Cookbook and Eat Happy 2 spelled T-O-O. And she's got Eat Happy Kitchen. That's where you'll find all those products. On behalf of Stephen Crutchfield and Anna Vocino, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Put life into living and do it with just a little more.